Hi, everybody, and welcome to another QPW Energy and Tribal Update. My name is David. I'm one of your navigators for today.
Hi, I'm Bella Alperan.
All right, everybody. So we're just going to take around 10, 15 minutes of your time today to share with you a very special initiative that we have launched over on our QPW platform with our QPW tribe members. And we're just going to take a few moments now to share more about that and really to offer an invitation to come and participate in something that we think may not have ever happened before, right, Bella?
Right. So we're trying to put together the organic matrix by putting our energy onto the map of the Tzolkin, which is the sacred round that we have been working with.
Right, so many of you have been following our channel here on YouTube for quite a while, maybe even since the days of the Quantum Plant Healing platform and then transitioning into our newer Quantum Planet.world platform, which really was something that we decided to do a couple of years ago to be ready for this moment that we're now in, which is of the transition point and understanding, as we've shared in previous videos, that we are the creators. We are in the new Earth cuboid timeline that we all really signed up to be a part of. However, with a lot of very strong energy at the moment, lots of very explosive narratives coming at us from all directions. There are many things to consider. So that aside, we're going to address that a little bit later in the call. But right now, most of all, we want to invite you all, if you feel the call, and this is a calling really in many ways, to participate in the QPW Tribal Glyph Hunt. So as Bella said, there are 260 different glyphs and combinations, we can say, of glyphs and tones in the Tzolkin, which we're going to pull up for you in a second in a chart, just to give a more pictorial evidence. But we are now on the hunt to complete the full 260 glyph set within our tribe. We're already about a third of the way there in just a couple of days.
Yeah.
We know that there's more than enough of you on our YouTube channel and in our QPW platform to hit that magic 260. And when we do, well, we're going to be in new territory first of all, but also we have a whole bunch of exercises that we want to work through at an energetic group collective unity consciousness level, we can say. But until we get to that 260, we can't embark on those activities, right, Bella?
Right. And we know that we are on a rocky boat right now around the planet with the amount of disclosure and very shocking revelations and news. And we invite you to stay neutral, to have a higher perspective, and to sit with all of the information that is being exposed at the moment. Some of it you might not resonate with, but that is where we insist in going to, for example, chapter 2 of the navigation guide of quantum consciousness, which is the one that helps us transcend polarity and duality. That is the big job at this moment. We all have an energy that we can put into these to try to bring a stability to this very rocky moment.
Right. So any of you who've been following the Quantum Compass sort of fortnightly show that myself and Bella put out, tracking the incoming 13-day Mayan wave spell and then overlaying some of the Western and sometimes sidereal astrology, really as a preview, an energetic preview of what's coming towards us. And rather than getting hit by it and reacting, actually seeing it coming towards us and working with the energies and flowing much in the way that we might with a wave down a stream. It's really a case of being in the Tao. But if you don't know what your Mayan glyph essence is, perhaps, Bella, you can take a couple of moments here just to share with everybody what it is and what the importance of it is and how perhaps it can help us redefine our lives.
Right. So since we started Quantum Planet Healing and then Quantum Planet World, we were guided to use these archetypes because when we connect to the quantum field, the quantum field or the plasma field recognizes archetypes and energies as archetypes. And that's how our subconscious mind can connect to these. So understanding what your energy or archetype is to a much higher level is really important at this moment because we can give stability to that unified collective consciousness because everybody is right now being hit from somewhere. With the news, political news, economics, education, relationships, you name it. Everything is being here pushed. And we knew that this moment was going to come where it was going to be everything at once to a point of overwhelming. So this is, we hope, one of the ideas that can help us find some kind of stability. And so it's good to find out what is your glyph, what is your tone, what is the energy that you can bring into these organic matrix that we're going to be working with.
Right, so we call it getting used to or familiarizing yourself with your cosmic essence. And I guess probably many of the questions that most of us have had in our life is, who am I and what am I doing here? Well, I can say from personal experience that when Bella introduced me to all of this Mayan time and magic some years ago when we first met and introduced me to the idea of my glyph, which is the Skywalker, the red cosmic Skywalker, as I've said before, it actually allowed me to be myself, perhaps for the first time to go, oh my gosh, like, you know, all of my life I've been a Skywalker. I've always been interested in alternative realms of consciousness and now actually feel more empowered to share that with the world, perhaps at a time when it's most needed. So that's part of how my cosmic essence has allowed me to be myself. And of course, within our cosmic essence, we also have a Mayan oracle. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here, Bella. Let's pull up the first screen share. We just got a couple of slides to share here, which might help make this a little easier. So let's have a quick look at this, Bella.
So here on the left, you can see the 20 different archetypes that we are working with. And so it's important to know what is the color, because it is a code that you or your higher self can now integrate and be able to bring that energy into the collective. What is your higher purpose? What is your mission? What are your gifts? What are your talents? What do you have to contribute when it comes to working as a tribe?
Right, so here we have two different kind of pictorial maps, we can say, of the same thing, but just laid out slightly differently. On the left, we actually have the 20 glyphs as they're laid out in the sequence of 20 wave spells, which times by 13 gives us the 260, which is the Mayan calendar of the year, the Tzolkin as it's called. So we start with the top left with the red dragon, then after 13 days, the second wave spell starts, which was the white wind to the blue knight to the yellow seed, and so on. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the four different, we can say kin groups or tribes, Bella. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, that there are four groups, four colors. They all have an energy. If you have a red glyph, you have the energy of initiating projects, ideas, processes. And we want to encourage more of you to step into your mission right now. I was talking in the wave spell, in the quantum compass, is the wave spell of the red moon, which is my glyph as well. And it's all about self-remembrance. Who am I? What am I here to do? Am I working with my mission? How am I serving to others? And also to do with the cycles of time. Do I understand that the cycles of time is not linear, and everything that we live is in the form of a spiral, and we're going upwards in a spiral?
So this is not the scope of this video to talk about the switch between the 1260 Gregorian calendar to the 1320 fractal time calendar. We've done that in many, many other shows. It's really the basis of a lot of what we feel is our work here at this time. And you can find out more about that in some of the courses we've run or the other shows. But also just to show here, really, that actually I've just realized the glyph on the right-hand side is showing the same information. So the top left of this one here on the right is the dragon, the next one across is the wind, and then of course the knight, the seed. And so they've done it in a slightly different way, which represents the same things, but sometimes the glyphs are represented slightly differently. Now, unlike astrology, the only thing you need to know in order to get your cosmic essence is really just the date of your birth. You don't necessarily need the place or the time.
And there are many different ways of doing this. If you don't know how to do it, just come to the website, and we'll give you the details, what apps you can use or what websites where you can go and calculate your glyph or your galactic signature. Many people have come and even done sessions with me, so they already know their glyph and they can come and participate more actively.
So this is the 20 part of the 1320, and now we're just going to look and show you how it comes into the 260, the 13 times 20.
Yeah, so here you can see the 260 energies, and we have gotten people in all of the columns and putting together the map. And we have lots of people with green glyphs or green on the green squares, which mean that they are galactic activation portals. And I'll explain more through time. What can we do when you realize what type of energy you're holding within yourself?
Right, so this is the Tzolkin map of the year. It follows the same pattern every 260 days. In the top left-hand corner, you will see that number 1, that glyph is the red magnetic dragon, and then following down the column 1 to 2 to 3 and down to the 13th, which is actually my glyph, the red cosmic Skywalker. Each one of those is called a tone, and then we get to number 14 and the cycle starts again, but the wave spell is led by the next glyph, which is the white... What is it? It's the white wind, is that correct?
Where?
The second one here, number 14.
Number 14 is the white wizard
It's the
or
white
the
wizards, the
jaguar.
jaguar, which is actually also the glyph of today that we're recording this. So that's kind of timely. So we work with these 13 tones, which each have a relevance to the dimensions, to frequencies, to a whole variety of other things that we cover in the navigation guide to quantum consciousness. So you times those 13 tones by the 20 different glyphs and you get your 260 calendar, which means that every single day has an evolving pattern that is an energy of its own day, but within a 13-day container. Each glyph has its own qualities and its essence. And so you ride the wave, the Mayan time wave, across those 13 days. And each day, starting with day 1, which is a day of magnetization, to day 2, or tone 2, which is about polarization or challenge, which we're going to talk a little bit about in a minute, just with some words of advice from our own meditational practices. And so you flow through to day 10, day of manifestation, day 11, day of liberation, day 13, day of transcendence, in that particular 13-day container or wave spell. And then the cycle or sequence starts again the next day with a different overriding 13-day energy.
And again, we're explaining the quantum compass. We're on the wave spell of the red moon, which is quite emotional, lots of things, lots of triggers. And the recommendation is be in the flow. Go and check in with yourself. Have I done this inner work? Why is this triggering me? Why am I getting polarized by the news? Is there some inner work I still need to do? We're still asking you all to be vigilant. I mean, we need to look at what's going on, but also do not get polarized. We need to be in a higher perspective.
Right, so this is one of the practical ways that these wave spells or glyphs and tones can assist us. Day 2 or tone 2 of every 13 days is always a day of challenge of polarity, which is actually, although it can be difficult and challenging, it actually gives us the opportunity to see where we're getting triggered, divided, or literally polarized, because in duality, that is the nature of polarization. There is an equal and opposite effect, a positive and negative charge. But from the 5th dimensional non-dual perspective, what we might call the eagle's perch, none of that exists. And so if we are finding ourselves getting triggered by maybe other people, probably at this moment more what is coming at us from the Gogglebox narrative, and there has been a lot of challenging, explosive news this week. We know that. We've also had to use these meditational practices ourselves so that we don't get triggered. But when we do those exercises, right, we actually are able to sit in that non-dual perspective where there is no good and there is no bad, there just is. We are able to perceive duality for what it is. And when we go to that place, we can feel in our body medicine what is a truth for us, and actually sometimes what looks one way in the visuals or optics at the energy level has a whole different story. We're going to be talking more about this in another initiative called We the People, also running on QPW, which we're going to make another video about soon. But our advice right now is anything that is coming up, that is coming at you, decisions, particularly on the political space, try to take a deep breath, go and find a beautiful tree, sit and meditate until you come to a non-dual perspective where you can find that everything is okay for you. Because sometimes what is presented and what is the reality behind that are not always the same thing, which is where we need that non-dual perspective and I would say a certain amount of energetic discernment.
I loved the one of the members of the tribe said, hey, how about we call ourselves we the cosmic humans?
We the cosmic humans, right?
We have been insisting we are creators. We are creators of this reality. And it's where we, by falling into polarity, we give away our creating power. So it's by staying in a neutral space and then going to 5D and being able to put our energy to good use, especially now that we're putting together this collective map, we as a group can create and manifest different realities. And this is, I think, where we're going.
Right, so if you just think about it simply, if we are in a collective crystalline network, the new 5D and above network, and we understand that we, the creators, have the ability through conscious thought to start manifesting, then I guess the simple way of seeing this is, do we want to start manifesting in our mind and thus into the collective space division?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're finding divisive narratives coming at us, maybe they're part of the wake-up process, maybe they're going to trigger us in the place so that we aren't divided or polarized, all of which is absolutely essential to become higher, multidimensionally manifested beings, cosmic human beings. That is part of the journey to be non-dual, to be Christ consciousness and above, to be creators. We have to understand this. And so it can be tough. We're not saying it's not difficult.
Mm-hmm.
We've also had to sit and meditate our way through quite a bit over the last week. But in doing so, we're always able to come to a place of balance and harmony within ourselves. We do some cleanup work on our energy field, and we come back to our sacred center, which is actually also day 5 of radiance in every wave spell. So we've always got these sequences that we can work through where we build an intention, we work with catalyzing energies that maybe are not allowing that to manifest, and through the 13-day sequence, we can actually manifest all kinds of things.
When we're on a wave spell, there are a few days where you can bring those polarities into balance. For example, day 2 is where we get the challenge. It's like, okay, some news, some information is presented, which tries to polarize us. That is a very important day to bring a neutrality and try to transcend that. Day 6, like today, it's another day of organic balance. Am I feeling a victim? Am I feeling the opposite of the victim? What am I feeling within myself that it needs to be brought into balance? Again, day 12 asks you to do the same. Bring more balance, your masculine, your feminine, your good and your bad, all of the polarities that you have within yourselves and within your relationships. Again, bring them back into balance so that on day 13, you actually transcend all of these situations. And this wave spell is going to challenge us all to do that.
But the good news is that in realizing where we have polarization and coming to a place of non-duality and balance and harmony about it, what we're actually doing is tapping into some latent energy that we have stored in our field. We can call it perhaps density or shadow, often related to trauma, which is what gives us the polarization or the divisiveness within us, because at a non-dual perspective, there is no division. There is no separation between ourselves, our partners, our friends, our family, or indeed any other human beings, or indeed nature, Mother Earth herself, or indeed even the universe. And that is really what this whole earthly experience has been about, is remembering that we are all interconnected to everything in the universe.
And that when we go to our 5D selves or our higher self energy field, that is where everything gets created and then manifests into 3D. And this is more of the exercises we want to start doing with the tribe as we work as a collective. We can create from that space and make it manifest.
Right. So yes, those challenges can actually give us the fuel that when we come to that non-dual perspective, there are often realizations, downloads about certain situations, about ourselves, about reality that we didn't have before. It's almost a bit like a spiritual reward for having to come through some sort of difficult situation, even if it's just internally, to a place of balance. Great Spirit recognizes the effort that takes sometimes to come back to that place of neutrality and of balance. And in doing so, there is always, at least in my experience, a realization about something much bigger that comes through. So there's a lot of rewards to all of this. So really, that's about it for today. Let's just take this screen down and bring back up the main screen. So that's it. The invitation is to all of you out there to jump into this. If you want to be part of the Magic 260 Glyph QPW, we can say treasure hunt, and then please come over. Once we have that 260, we will have the complete fractal representation of all of the different cosmic essences of the universe. And once you know your essence, you will also be opening up to the Mayan Oracle, where you have 4 other glyphs around your essence that will talk to you about guides, allies, secret helpers, and even challenges that you might be able to work with, in fact, with other people. This is really what this exercise is all about, is creating a unified field of 260 beings with all of the different permutations working together. And then once we have that, we're going to start doing some group meditations and group exercises that are from that higher perspective, maybe as a way of helping to hold space through some of the challenges and difficult news that may be coming to the masses who have not prepared for this moment in the way that many of you probably have and we have, and perhaps don't have the tools and ability to hold their center and not get polarized. So that's the invitation, everybody. We know these are difficult days. It is, what's the phrase? Buckle up, buttercup, hold on to your hat,
Be in the flow.
Be in the flow, all of these things, because this is the moment we all signed up for. And even if it is challenging, I think we all knew that this moment was going to come. Yeah. And the question really is now is, how are we showing up for ourselves? Yeah. And in doing so, we're actually doing the most powerful thing we can do in this process, which is to take responsibility for every thought, word, and deed that we participate in, knowing that at a quantum entanglement level, it's going to have a ripple effect. So I would suggest that maybe the emphasis here is to make sure that you're staying in that high frequency positivity, and that is your contribution to the collective at the time.
And review, where are your resistances? Where are your polarities? What is actually making you resist certain things? Because that is where the clues are. If you're resisting certain things, or you're opposed to certain ideas, what is it around that within yourself that is not allowing you to flow and see a higher perspective or a better solution or a more quantum idea of what we could actually be creating here together?
So, final piece, if you want to join us in this quest for this particular mission, it's free to join the mission if you feel the call, because this is part of a group exercise and there will be follow-on exercises. Please hit the link in the show notes. It will take you over to the groups page. If you're already a part of our QPW platform, fine, just jump into the QPW Planet group where there is a big thread where everybody is sharing. This is exercise has exploded really quickly. It's caught the imagination of not just ourselves, but many of you too. If you're not already a member on QPW, just go over to that link page and try to join that group, and it'll ask you to sign up, which will take 20 seconds or less, and then you can access that group. And indeed, you'll also be able to access all of the different threads and other live calls and a variety of other free to join activities that we have regularly on QPW.
Yeah, as I have explained before in the Mayan Time and Magic course and in the Navigation Guide to Quantum Consciousness, 13 is the process of creation. And that is why these organic matrix we're putting together is a fractal of 13. 13 times 2 is 26 and so forth. I go deeper into that. But it is the very matrix. We're all going to put our energies into a collective matrix to create something new, which is the new earth we're waiting for. We are the ones you've been waiting for.
Right. So, this is our opportunity to reconnect back to the magic 13th, which is the connection to the rest of the universe, the connection to the goddess energy. And in doing so, we fixed the broken circuit that wasn't allowing 12 to become 13 in the old system. We are in the middle of the ascension process, however we want to view that, or even if we have a different word for all of this process, we are in the expansion process right now of human evolution in conjunction with Mother Earth. And rather than get buffeted by it, I would suggest it's a lot more fun to go to a non-dual perspective and participate in activities like this, where we can have fun at the same time and also connect actually with a group of open-hearted, big-hearted people, but also like-minded people, where we can have actually pretty multidimensional consciousness conversations and actually think about everything that is happening in this moment for all of us from that loftier perspective.
Thank you for helping us. Thank you for your support, and we welcome you in our website.
All right, that's it, everybody. Thank you for taking time out to listen to us. Please do hit like and subscribe. And we hope to see you over on the QPW platform if you feel the call and to participate in our, well, we can call it a treasure hunt, I guess. See you all again very soon. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.
In Lakesh, I'm another
In
you.
Lakesh.